Well, the timeframe clearly is dependent on the data. If we continue to see an improving second quarter, certainly relative to the first quarter, if we see inclement weather conditions essentially rolling off the data, and we start to see a stronger US economy with greater traction, particularly in employment and housing, then I think the market will start coming round to the view that a higher rates is probably inevitable and probably a positive development, giving underlying growth. It's not a certainty. Certainly there are many in the market which are talking about a form of stimulus, be it another LTRO, be it negative deposit rates, outright asset purchases, some more explicit forward guidance. You can make a strong case for further stimulus from an inflation or a core inflation perspective, which is extremely low. But we are seeing some turnaround in growth metrics, and indeed that's being reflected in bond yields. I notice, for example, Greek bond yields now are back to levels prior to the crisis. So clearly the market is getting and coming round to the view that the sovereign debt crisis last year's story, or 2 years ago, and now we're looking much more towards a more stable playing field. So it's not a certainty, but my focus is very much on the deflation risk in the Eurozone, and to that extent I think you can make a compelling case for some sort of support from the ECB. Well, they are, and indeed we have seen an acceleration of various infrastructure projects, various demand-side tweaking, various supply-side boosts. So there is absolutely the sense that the government is looking to support growth going forward. We haven't seen any outright monetary easing, and I guess what people are looking at now is possibly a cut in the RRR requirement to allow some greater lending by the formal banking sector, which would obviously restrict some of the credit that perforce has been going into the shadow banking sector. So the market is up on the expectation of further stimulus, and frankly, as growth slows closer to this floor, which is probably around or about 7%, I think it's more likely that we will see some level of policy support coming through.